The memory of creation. Long before cities were built, before kings ruled, before nations filled the earth, there was Adam, the first man, formed by the hands of God himself, given life by the breath of the Creator. Adam had once walked in the Garden of Eden. He had seen the beauty of creation with his own eyes, but the world had changed since those early days. Sin had entered the earth. Pain had entered human life. Yet the story of humanity continued, and Genesis chapter 5 tells us about the generations that came after Adam, a long line of men who lived, had children, and passed on the story of mankind from one generation to the next. Adam and his son Seth. Adam lived for many years after leaving the garden, and in time he had a son named Seth. Seth was born in Adam's likeness, in his image, just as Adam had once been created in the image of God. Seth grew, and the human family began to grow with him. After Seth was born, Adam lived many more years. He had other sons and daughters. His family spread across the earth. Adam lived 930 years, a life longer than any we see today. But even the first man could not escape the truth spoken long ago, "For dust you are, and to dust you will return." And so, after 930 years, Adam died. After Adam, the story moved to Seth. Seth lived 105 years, and he had a son named Enoch. And just like Adam before him, Seth lived many years after that. His family grew larger. Children were born. Generations multiplied. Seth lived 912 years, and then, like his father before him, Seth died. Enoch lived 90 years, and he became the father of Kenan. During the days of Enoch, humanity continued to spread across the land. Families grew, communities formed, life continued under the open skies of a young world. Enoch lived 905 years, and then his time came to an end. He died. Kenan lived 70 years, and he became the father of Mahalalel. The generations continued like a flowing river. From father to son, from son to grandson, the story of mankind moved forward. Kenan lived 910 years, and then he died.
Mahalalel and Jared. Mahalalel lived 65 years, and he became the father of Jared. By now, the earth was becoming more populated. People were spreading across the lands. Children were being born into a growing world. Mahalalel lived 895 years, and then his life came to its end. He died. Jared and Enoch. Jared lived 162 years, and he had a son named Enoch. This name would become one of the most mysterious in all of Genesis. Jared lived many more years and had other sons and daughters. In total, Jared lived 962 years, and like the generations before him, he died. The man who walked with God, Enoch. Then came Enoch, and the story suddenly changes. The pattern had always been the same. A man lived, had children, lived many years, and then he died. But Enoch was different. Enoch lived 65 years, and he had a son named Methuselah. But from that moment forward, something remarkable happened. The Bible tells us something simple yet powerful. Enoch walked with God. Day after day, year after year, Enoch lived in close relationship with the Creator. In a world slowly drifting away from God, Enoch walked faithfully with him. For 300 years, Enoch continued walking with God. Then something extraordinary happened. The words suddenly break the pattern of death. Instead of saying, "and he died," Scripture says, Enoch was no more because God took him. Enoch did not die like the others. God took him away. A life so close to God that his story ended in a mysterious and beautiful way. Methuselah, the longest life. Enoch's son was Methuselah, and Methuselah would become known for something incredible. Methuselah lived longer than any man recorded in the Bible. He lived 969 years, nearly 1,000 years of life. He had many sons and daughters. Generations continued to grow. But eventually, even Methuselah reached the end of his days, and after 969 years, he died. Lamech and a child of hope. Methuselah had a son named Lamech. Lamech lived many years and watched the world continue to change around him. The earth was becoming harder. Life was full of struggle. Farming the land required painful labor. The curse spoken after the fall still weighed heavily on mankind. Then one day, Lamech had a son, and when he looked at this child, he spoke words of hope. He named the boy Noah, and Lamech said, "He will comfort us in the labor and painful toil of our hands, caused by the ground the Lord has cursed." To Lamech, Noah represented hope for the future, hope that things might one day change, hope that God had not forgotten humanity. Lamech lived 777 years, and then he died. The generation before the flood. Noah grew into a man, and in time he had 3 sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. The earth continued filling with people. Generations had passed from Adam to Noah, 10 generations in total, from the first man created by God to a man who would soon face one of the greatest events in human history. Because the world was changing, humanity was growing, but so was something else, wickedness. And soon, God would respond in a way that would reshape the entire world. But that is the story that comes next. Genesis chapter 5 may seem like a list of names, but hidden within those generations is something deeper. It shows us the passage of time, the rise and fall of human life, and the truth that every generation must face. Life is temporary. Even those who lived nearly 1,000 years eventually faced the same ending. Yet among those names stands one man who reminds us of something powerful. Enoch walked with God. And sometimes the greatest legacy a person can leave behind is not wealth, not power, not fame, but a life that walks closely with the Creator.
Kindly click on like, share, and subscribe for more Bible mysteries. Thanks for watching.